Alright guys, welcome back to the channel, and today I'm going to be giving you guys a very stressful build update on my 2000 Mustang GT 4-valve swap. And I'm not even going to run an intro, I'm just going to tell you guys exactly what I did and then show it to you. I think the last thing that I showed you guys was that we cut the springs, we did the spindles in the front so we get more steering angle. That worked out. We still have issues where I can't drive it because something's not quite right with my power steering lines. Hopefully in the next week or two I could get that sorted out. I'm sure you guys have noticed, and if you didn't, I'm gonna put that video in here now of me doing some donuts, and I was actually in second gear, but I'm gonna insert that video now. Yeah, so as you can see, it's running much better, but you could hear that it had an exhaust leak, and I fixed the exhaust leak, so I got to cross that off of my list of things to do. So power steering is a big issue because the brakes off of these Mustangs actually work off of the power steering pump, and I'm having issues. I believe the lines or the hydro boost itself is actually giving us issues. I'm not sure. I'm going to change the lines first. If that doesn't work, then I'm going to change the hydro booster, and that should be the problem, or at least that should fix it. But for right now, she's running like a dream. I have a leaking gearbox, and not necessarily a leak where you can see it on the ground, but you can see like right where the shifter is, it's like almost sweating. So I'm thinking I'm gonna just unbolt the shifter and re-silicone the seal for the shifter, and that should be the fix. But I'm also gonna drain the fluid and refill it with fresh fluid when I do that, just to make sure that that's good. Other than that, we seem to be getting a dead spot like in the car when and when I say dead spot, it's like a hesitation. When you press the gas, it'll, but when you rev it a few times, then it acts extremely normal. But even when you're doing donuts, drifting, running it hard, it doesn't back up. It actually runs and goes. I believe that hesitation actually comes from us using a much smaller intake manifold, because we're still using the Marauder's computer, which is C heads. They're bigger heads. Well, they're not necessarily bigger, but they're better revised heads, and the intake manifold for C heads are bigger than the B heads that's actually in this motor. So I believe the tone is a bit off, and we're gonna fix that in the future. I just want to get this vehicle to the point where you could run and drive it, just throw a battery in it, start it, and go. I don't want to be working on this thing non-stop. But about doing weekly uploads also, I don't want to really be doing a lot of just scheduled videos, like trying to find something to do a video about. I actually want to do videos I enjoy doing, and I found myself getting a lot more frustrated. Like even right now, I know I'm sounding calm, but I'm super frustrated that I can't figure out this brake booster problem thing. But it's just one of those things when you're swapping a motor into a vehicle. I don't care how much research you do, you're just gonna run into issues that you have to go through and figure it out, and post the answers online like I do, so everyone else doesn't have to go through the same headache. But we're gonna do a walk around on the vehicle. I'm not gonna start it because, like I said, I have some issues with my power steering lines, and they're disconnected right now, so I don't want to burn up that pump. But as you've seen in the video, it's running extremely good. So yeah, let me walk around and actually show you how the car looks first, and then we're gonna go inside and under the hood. All right, so I know visually everyone watching would be like, oh man, your car's a piece of shit. And visually, yeah, I'd have to agree with you. It's really banged up. We are gonna paint it, but one of the biggest things that made this car much more appealing and better to drive to me is when I cut the springs on it. I cut them front and back. The only reason it's still looking high is because we have these 22-inch rims in the back, which I'm gonna replace those. It's just that I have to put new tires on the other 2 rims that I've already burned out. But we're just gonna do a quick walk around, going straight around there. Same 22-inch rims on this side, same stock rims in the front, and to me it looks really nice. Just got to get it painted up. If you guys have noticed in any of my videos, you've seen like this garbage bag, and the reason for that is water has been getting on the engine through these holes. They have to be sealed up when the car is painted. So I've just been putting the garbage bag there so that water doesn't get down on my coils or on any of my wiring and mess any of that up. But aesthetically, outside definitely needs to be worked on. This is where all that power steering fluid went when the line, I think I just put the line in the wrong place. The line ended up busting. So we're gonna get that sorted out real soon. Now, let me show you guys a look inside. I know you remember when I had the accident where I went into the tree from the steering wheel. I did some modification to the arm itself and got it to be extremely sturdy, so we ended up staying with that. We got a battery box in there. This is the Ron Francis wire and harness. My fire extinguisher, desperately need that. Also, my fuel setup, I know the wires in here is extremely junky. I'm gonna get that cleaned up. But that's a 97 fuel hat that has the return, so I ran my return there instead of running it here where I normally had it. And yeah, so that's it for inside. You guys know the fuel gauges. That is my fan switch there. Fuel gauge, volt gauge, button to start it, and the switch for it. Batteries over here, terminals over there as well. And now we can pop the hood and I'll show you what we've done under there. Alright, so under the hood, like I was saying, these lines here, right, that go into the Hydro Boost, they actually came from, well, I believe these lines here, these actually came from the Marauder, and I don't think they're the right lines. This reservoir actually came from the Marauder and definitely isn't the right one because the Marauders use an air booster, so these lines aren't designed for running to a Hydro Boost, but you know, I made them work. But that's most likely why I'm having an issue. I took the air filter off the MAF because I noticed even though I could do the donuts and slide around pretty easily, if I stay at wide open throttle too long, it makes like a leaning out sound or something like that. But I think that has a lot more to do with the tune. I'm going to change the plugs, change the coils. Hopefully that gets rid of whatever issues I'm having with it. But drivability wise, it is absolutely amazing at this point. I have an oil pressure gauge that I have to install. I want to always be able to monitor that. I don't have any coolant leaks. I have water in here for now because I was making sure that it doesn't leak, but I don't have any coolant leaks. That's one thing I'm thankful for. I don't have any oil leaks. It's just this power steering issue that's causing me some grief now. But for right now, you guys know the fuel pressure gauge is there. Everything is pretty much the same under the hood. Like I said, it's just a power steering leak. And yeah, that's the build update. It's definitely running a lot better than it was, and we're gonna keep going at it until we turn this thing into a complete drift animal. Alright, so there is one thing I want to say because I don't want to be misleading on this channel. I want to give accurate information. If you guys are gonna do this swap, and it'll be like one of the first swaps you ever do, this is definitely a good one, but you do still have to put aside a good amount of money because depending on what 4-valve motor you get, you need certain intakes, certain throttle bodies, you need certain throttle cables, and all depends on which motor you get. Now, we started this swap with the Marauder engine, which was super easy to swap. You use the GT mounts, you use the trans mount from the Mustang GT as well. Very easy to mount it in the car, and if you have a stock harness, very easy to get running off of a GT computer. Issue we had was the motor that I had went underwater, bent a rod. Long story short, got another motor This one was a bit tricky to get in because of the Gen 1 intake manifold and where the throttle body is positioned way in the back. That's why my cold air intake comes forward from the back by the firewall. We got that to work, but now my issue is thinking that we have a C head computer running a B head motor, and I'm not sure if that creates a lot of issues, but definitely I'm sure with the different intake manifold size that can cause some stumbling and issues. But we're gonna get rid of that in the near future because we're gonna get an SCT X4 tuner. Hopefully we can get the live wire tuner, which is the big screen SCT tuner, and we're gonna tune out any issues that we might have. One of the biggest things I want to tune out is the patch system. I would like to leave it in, but I would actually like to just start it and run it without having to use any key. I'm gonna put a failsafe in it, just like the patch system, where you can't steal it without knowing how to do it. But yeah, that's basically where we are in the build. Got to get this power steering thing dealt with. It's running very well. We are 8 months into this swap, and a lot of that time is allocated towards just having to save and buy parts when I could. Definitely this was not my top priority in life, but we finally have it to the point where you can run and drive it, and I'm super proud of that. But it's also frustrating when you have to like build or piece together a lot of these one-off parts like power steering lines or pumps or reservoirs, stuff like that, where it would have been best if I bought someone's Mustang GT with a blown engine instead of buying just a gutted out, no parts Mustang GT, which I believe this was a V6 because she had the air brake booster. So every small part that I would have got with a Mustang GT, I actually didn't get because it wasn't on this vehicle. So the best course of action definitely would have been to buy someone's 2-valve Mustang with a blown engine, swap the 4-valve in it, and I would have been done with it. Wire harness, everything would have been in it. But we have a complete brand new wire harness, brand new fuel system, injectors, MAF. Basically when this car is done, only thing that's going to be old on it is the actual motor. That's it. But I'm super happy about it. Can't wait to get this thing painted. Can't wait to really be done with it so that I can get my hydraulic e-brake setup in it and we can start actually drifting with this thing. But I really want to thank you guys so much for watching every video, liking, subscribing. You guys do give me encouragement to keep pushing because this is extremely frustrating. Like when you have the build 99% done and you got like that 1% of stress that you got to figure out. But I'm gonna keep pushing. We're gonna get this thing done. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I'll catch you guys on the next one.